Streaming is on.
So the setup is obviously you want the first calculation, and then you're going to want basically we're going to want to link to document total assets in want to link / calculate total assets. Link to total assets. Link to total asset accounting for org, right? Then you're going to need the link to the active live assets description. Okay, so those are the three things you're going to need. So the first step is basically to use the crypto calc. Well, not the crypto, this is the stocks. Right? Use the stocks calc to calculate the percentage of each asset. Okay, so in this case, it's 8750 is the stocks. So I put the 8750 basically becomes your 100%. And then we're going to basically be calculating that out for everything except for crypto, right? So then it's just going to be this divided by that, which in this case is 19%, right? And then if you go down, you're going to end up with everything based up. So you have 19%, 14%, 9.5%. So that's your breakdown, okay? Does that make sense or what? Hello? Did I lose you? Okay, I lost you again. Oh, no, you're on mute.
All right, Jay. Sorry. I had
you were on mute.
a little crisis. I'm fine. Fine now. Okay. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So does that make sense? I'm here in line I, 26 through 34.
Yeah, I am here.
So those are the calculations.
Okay.
Right. So if I just wanted to copy this, I would just say, here are the stock assets. I can bring that down over here, and we've finished step 1. And basically, step 1 is extremely simple because you're not really doing anything. So we're
got
on the page.
Got it. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay.
You just you just multiply by the no.
Huh?
Yes, you divide by the allocation of the stocks or the stock. I mean with the first calculation. Yeah, perfect.
And I think you're going to want to simplify a little bit here. Like, I don't see any reason why to have the 0.00 number. So if we just sum up this, let's see if this equals 100%. We get 99.5%. So SPY is going to be 14.5. Okay, so in that way, it's basically, let's get some simple numbers, okay?
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes.
So, the numbers don't have to be, exactly whatever. It's just like fine. These percentages. So you have 19%, 2.5%, etc. Then you have 9.5%. That makes sense? So use the stock calculation to recalculate percentage, and then step 3 would be to average out the percentages to be easy numbers to work with, right?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to go into the total assets. So in this case, we're doing BJC Trust. So for BJC Trust, we are going to get the BJC Trust Assets Accounting spreadsheet. So let's see if we can find that. BJC Trust. BJC Trust Holdings Assets Account spreadsheet. Yeah, this is the one. So I copy this. I bring this here. And we are now on step 4, okay?
Yeah.
So now we're going to update the total assets for the org. So obviously, in relationship to a organization that is, doing the simple investment model, you can do it with any org that has, whatever amount of assets that they got. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm listening, Jay. I'm very concentrated too.
Well, now we just have to do the calculation. We just have to make the updated calculation. So
yeah,
we just log into Wells Fargo. This is all stuff that you should have access to, and then you can use the DBank to get the total Ethereum network, and then there's the polygons for the other details. So.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then I have so it's all there. It's pretty easy to calculate real quick. If you want to do one or the other, like one of us could work on MetaMask while the other one works on the brokerage, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean I can get the brokerage for sure.
Okay, well then I will work on the MetaMask then. Although you can't do the joint account, so I'm gonna do that one. So joint account 268, 268. All right, so I'm working on the MetaMask, okay?
Okay. I'm signing on Wells Fargo. So the goal, we want the breakdown of the BGC trust, correct?
What?
No, we already have that, right?
Yes. Are you able to see that? Maybe you can't see the breakdown. I don't know. Are you able to see the breakdown between stocks, ETFs, and cash?
I just entered here.
Are you able to see it, or is that not?
I don't know. I don't see it. No. Sub account.
You can't.
I don't see a lot here. No. Brokerage cash.
Yeah, let me just get it because I have it right here. So we're going to be trust account. And then go in here. So there's 87,000 something or other total.
Yeah, 87,829.
We like to break it down just because it helps us keep track. So we have the 35. So stocks is 35,106.67. So that's gone up considerably. EFTs are 178.44, and then the cash is 17,708.14. All right, so now all those are updated. And so then the last one is just to update the crypto that is FQN crypto. So in this case, we have TAD is 750.991. So TAD sends it, and then the value, we just do a deck screener for the value of this. TAD is 177.
Oh, fine.
177. So I just come in here, say 1.77. So it's 1,329. 1,329. Okay, so this is done. Okay.
Yeah.
So the only thing missing is the gold, silver metals. We haven't really done that. So I get $98,147 total.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
But then we can also note here on the date. So this would be Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. It's gone up by actually quite a bit. It's like the first time it's gone up, So it's climbing.
Nice. 8.39. Nice. Cool.
That is good news. All right. So then the last.
So basically, this. Sorry, Jay, can I interrupt you, Masako?
All right.
Yeah. These dates are the dates you were already using the simple investment model, or you were still doing it before?
We're not using a simple investment model because we don't do the work.
I mean, the last time we changed the portfolio was together, or you kept updating it?
I adapted it once to the stocks, so we haven't even done the crypto, and like we're way behind on everything. We just don't do the work, right? Again, unless it's verified, we're not doing the work.
Yeah. All right, Jay.
All right. So, but anyways, this looks good. So I wanted to do a quick breakdown between crypto. I'll just do over here in J. So we have stocks and then crypto. Let me break it down real quick. We can do a sum of the stocks. We also have metals, which is not going to worry about here. And then this is going to be a sum of crypto. Just leave the. Yeah, we'll just put the gold in there for now. All right. So then we take the total amount, which is the 19,000, and we can just see kind of like what that looks like in terms of percentage wise. And it looks like the crypto is currently about 7%. Okay.
Yeah, 7%.
So in my mind, we don't need to transfer any crypto, and if anything, we should actually buy more crypto in this case, right?
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't we have 87.5 in the stocks and like 12.5 in crypto, or not?
That's the general goal, but obviously it's a little off. But either way, like if you put, for example, the gold and and everything in here, it would be a little bit higher. Like, so you summed all of this, you get 9%, right? So that's also consideration. So anyways, the point is that we do not need to worry about selling crypto and buying stocks. All right.
Okay.
But for now, we're not going to worry about buying crypto, right? Because I mean, if we're supposed to have somewhere between 8% to 12%, we have 9% crypto. I think we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's focus on just working with the existing crypto assets and get those organized before we worry about adding more crypto, right? It's just no need to do that. All right, but anyways, it's just good to have that calculation there so that we can kind of compare as things evolve. But either way, it's just exciting that the value went up a little bit. So now we're going to go back to our spreadsheet and take our total value, which in this case is for the stocks is 89,262.
Yeah, 89,262.
And then I'm going to go ahead and put that next to all these percentages. And then we can start getting a little looky look at how much we are going to consider having for each of these assets. Yeah. So about 16,000 Tesla, about 12,000 SPY, about 8,000 everything else. Okay?
Yeah, perfect.
So that would be step 5. So step 5 is basically, getting a quick look at the total amount of money.
It's very simplified also because, I mean, many stocks have the same percentages. It's very simplified because of the levels, right? This happens.
Exactly, because of the levels. Yeah, so it's all like the same.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool, Jay.
All right, so are you ready for the last part? Oh, yeah.
So I want to check if it's here. The average is not working for the changes. I don't know. I'm not managing to in the BGC Trust spreadsheet. I wanted to make the average here, but I don't know.
Why we don't need to do an average of the changes. Yeah, it doesn't need to. We don't need that.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, but let's make a couple notes here.
Second calculation.
So we started with some of the responsibility organizing. Like I just want to kind of step back over to column H9, right, where we have the list of all the tasks. So we're going to want to update the list of priorities for assets client work, right? Super key. And that's kind of where we're tracking all of these. And then that also will include the responsibility organizing for these calculations. And then also we're going to be noting here, we can't forget about the metal assets. So that's something that we're kind of not including right now.
Okay. Which was 2000, no?
But what?
2000. The 2000 there. Oh, we left orange. Or something else.
Yeah, it's 2000. So the easiest way to think about it is for now, the easiest way to think about it is that those are just part of our finances. Right? Because the model that we like, basically the simple model for the simple SIM, for SIM, anything that doesn't get in the top 510, we just basically exclude. And we don't worry about it. And it becomes part of finances. It's just not part of the investment model. So we can have gold and silver and have that as an asset, but it's just not really part of our simple investment model. And it is technically under the balance sheet of BJC Trust, right? So BJC Trust does have some gold and silver, but in terms of exactly how much and how we break that down, and then when we go through the finances, currently our FQN overall umbrella asset pool of metals is just in our finances. It's not part of our investment model, which is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we just want to note that there. So it is still an asset, even though it's not part of simple investment model. Okay. So and then in the future we might bring it back in and get it back involved into our investments. But right now we're just you can still invest in something that's not part of the simple investment model. All right, so going back to number 6 on the second calculation, this is where things start getting a little bit complicated, and this is like the first time we're starting to deal with this. So
okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
And the reason why it gets complicated is simply because we are, I know it sounds pretty crazy, but this is what we're doing. We are completely uniting and interconnecting both Diverge and Root into one simple investment model, and this is where that all happens. So we're basically doing 2 entire separate investment strategic models that are their own entire organizations, basically, and we're just putting that into one step. So it's pretty amazing that's even possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the list of assets, and it's very important that each asset is just has a line between them, because you're going to be using 2 lines per asset because we have a lot going on.
All right.
So we're going to do that. This here. Wait. What did you do? QQQ, Apple. Yeah, just make sure they stay in order.
Okay.
All right, are we good? That looks good. Okay, so then first thing we have assets. The second thing is the percentages. So this is the estimated percentages. So then we just pull out the
which is the 19.
Oops. So this should go pretty quick since most of them are just the same number.
Yeah.
Delete SPY is 14.5 and then 19. Okay, cool. The next number is the total funds. Total funds is the 89,000
and 262.
So whatever.
All right.
Okay, so then we have what we already calculated, which is what we call
buy and
the
sell
asset value at 100%. So the estimated asset value at 100% is going to be the same calculation we just did. which is obviously not going to be what we end up with, right? So this is the same calculation we just did before.
Okay.
We don't actually have to do that step, but it's just good to make sure you're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then the next one is the percentage of the value.
Mm-hmm.
And
What do we have?
And we're going to come back to that, okay?
Okay.
And then there's going to be what's called the the estimated asset value new. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to come back to percentage asset value in the other one, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so now we're going to go to root and diverge. Okay, so are you following me so far?
Yes, I am.
Great. So I'm purposely going through this in detail one by one, just slow it down, because I could have just copied and pasted the entire spreadsheet and did the whole thing, but it's just that would be a little bit more confusing. So the cool thing that we're doing here is we're just splitting everything up 50-50, right? So it's just
50-50, everything. So we divide the estimated asset value 100% by 50.
I have a very odd calculation here, but I don't know. Let me try it. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go equals to 50% divided by, in this case, 19. It's the time the total estimated value. Wow. Give me a minute here. Give me a minuto.
So are we dividing what by 50%? Hello, Jay.
Yeah, but we're going to start with let's just start with the 50% mark. So it's just we're just dividing each of these by 50%, which is going to get us the percentage in root and the percentage in diverge, right? They're just the same. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's nothing like that's just going to be a starting point, but that is not in any way close to our ending point. This is just getting us started. So this is where it gets a little bit on the more confusing side, and we're going to deal with it when we get there. Okay, so root stays the same, right? Are we on the same page that root stays the same? We don't change root. Hello, did I lose you again?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Yeah, maybe not.
Okay, but do you understand that root's going to stay the same? We're not even, like, after a root, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, because I was also updating here, and then I lost communication, and it's just taking away this.
Okay, anyways, but the point here is that these calculations are correct, and root is not going to change. Does that make sense? We're on the same page here?
Root is not going to change?
Correct. Root is not going to change.
What do you mean it's not going to change?
The amount of value in root is not going to change, because whatever is in root, we buy and we sell regardless of whether it goes up or down. It's only diverge that we're changing, right? So root is done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You're on the same page. You understand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so root stays the same.
Root stays the same, yeah.
So now we're just focusing on diverge. So the question is for diverge, is what will be the percentage for diverge, basically between 0 and 100%, 9.5% for Tesla, right? So for Tesla, we have 9.5%, and the question would be,
yes,
how much that 9.5% do we want to keep? Okay.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, how much we want to keep of this 9.5% here? Yeah, how much we want to keep?
Yes. And then I think the way that I did this is that everything starts with 100% value, right? So and then you're dividing 100% by 50.
All right. Yeah, I need a minute. Sorry.
Okay.
Hey Jay, I'm back. So sorry. So
Okay, so I mean, we can stop if you want to. I mean, we've gotten really far. We're doing pretty good.
I'm good to go. If you want.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
All right. So
okay.
you
So
changed
basically,
here.
I figured this out. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
the percentage value always starts at 100%, right? And then between diverge and root, we just split it up 50-50 directly at super simple. Does that make sense?
Yes. Root stays the same. So whatever the 50% of this f, right? It stays like that. Root must stay like that. Diverge, we can change it.
Yes, correct.
Mhm.
Okay, so but
Okay.
what if let's give an example though. So let's say, and this is
Yeah.
where all the magic comes in. You ready for the magic?
Okay.
Let's just give an example for Tesla. Let's just say Tesla's
Okay.
about to. We're like, oh my god, we need to sell all of Tesla. It's just ridiculous. We can't hold on to Tesla. It's good gone, right?
Okay.
So what we would do is we would immediately sell Tesla so for diverge, but we would keep the root.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be 0% diverge, and then we would buy, let's say, US dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we're come up to here, and it would be the column would be Tesla, TSLA, and then for Tesla we would be buying, in this case, 50% Tesla shares. Okay, so
Mm-hmm. So the diverge would be back to 100%.
and then no, what we would end up with is that because we're selling all of the Tesla shares, the original percentage value would go down to 50%. So then I'm going to line E89,
Yeah.
and that would be 50%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then because we're buying US dollars, that would now be 150%, because we're now increased the total value of the US dollar by 50%.
Yeah.
That make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're documenting that 50% of the Tesla stock is now in US dollars, and that's column I. And now it automatically changes that the total percentage of root and diverge is now 33% and 33%. Okay. Based on, wait, let me see here.
Root should have,
root is, yeah, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So because the US dollars, it doesn't really matter. Like we're not, it would only matter if we decide to sell the US dollars, okay?
Yeah, but here there is something that I don't understand. So if we sell all the Tesla into Diverge, here shouldn't be 100%. Oh yeah, all the Tesla that we have are in root. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Correct. Now all the Teslas that we have are in root. Correct. Okay.
Yeah. So now root
sold them all. Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, and it says only because, again, it's all US dollar value. So the US dollar value of 50% of the Tesla stock is equivalent to 50% of the US dollar asset, right? But if you go to SPY, right, which is at 14.5, you would have a different calculation. And the same with QQQ, Apple, Microsoft, and everything. Those would be different calculations because the total percentage would not be 50%. It would be less, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you let's say, do you want to give an example? If we sold all the, let's just go with Microsoft, right? So let's say we decide to sell all the Microsoft, right? If you go to selling all the Microsoft, you end up with 50% value for the Microsoft. And basically you could do a quick calculation where it's basically that's would be half of the value, which is $4,240. And then you're dividing that by 16,960, which is the equivalent of the US dollars. In that context, you are ending up with exactly 25%. So if you decide to sell Apple, which I'm going to put over here in column M, or no, this is Microsoft.
Yeah.
That would end up being 25% of the US dollar of total value. And then the total value would go up to 175% for US dollar value. Okay, that makes sense?
Right. So
$4,240 is 25% of 1,600. And 25% of the total.
Okay. But now our value is down.
Or what's down?
Like if you do the sum of all the percentages of value, it should give you 1,000%, right?
No, not really.
No, because it's not. It's not 10, right? We didn't put
the percentages are based on each asset percentage value, not total. Right. So the only total value is the US dollars. The US dollar value should never change. So if you look at the estimated asset value at 100% versus the new estimated value at 100%, those should always be equal. So if you sum both of these up, there should never be a change in total dollar value in assets. You can see here that they're exactly the same. They match perfectly. So if you sold all of the Microsoft stock and you sold all of the Tesla stock and instead you put it in US dollars, you would end up with 29,680 US dollars, right? And then you would still have all the other assets broken down based on how much we're supposed to have for root. Okay?
I'm not following you. I'm sorry.
Well, do you see in column F 103, like line 103, right? Under D is the estimated asset value for 100%. So if everything's exactly the same, doesn't change at all, that's how much money we know we have, right? 89,262. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then after all the changes of buying and selling, so in this case, we sold the Diverge Tesla and we sold the Microsoft Tesla, the Microsoft assets, and we turned it into US dollars. right? And we know that this is the correct percentages because when we do 175% of US dollars, it comes out to the exact same amount of money, which is 89,262, right? Because we did the exact perfect calculations because Tesla is 50%, Microsoft is 25%. So the total is 175% of US dollar value.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes up to the exact same amount, which is $89,262 of assets.
Yeah. Yeah, we move the assets from one point to the other. Yeah.
Exactly. That's all we did.
Yeah.
But not only did we move them, we now know where they are. That's the whole point of this entire graphic right here, is simply to track and know exactly where the assets are. So at any time we know exactly what percentage of the US dollars is Tesla, and we could turn it back into Tesla, right? We don't need to worry about like, okay, we have this much US dollars. How much of that US dollars is actually Tesla and how much is actually US dollars, right? We know. Okay. Because right here, Tesla, of the 50% of the US dollar assets is Tesla. 25% of the US dollar assets is Microsoft. And then the rest is root and diverge. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So now what we would do is we would just go through each one and actually
do the same thing.
No, we would actually look up the diverge chart. So when we're going through chart, we're going to be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charts. And right now we're all at 100% for 50% of diverge means it's 100% chart. So the question is, do we want to keep it at 50%, which would mean we don't sell anything, or we could consider selling and switching it around. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So anyways, I think it's okay to stop here. We might want to put a step in between. Like maybe this is step 7 and step 6 could just be, look at the charts, look at charts for, for these assets and do percentage from 0 to 100, right, percent, and then calculate 0 to 50% from the 0 to 100. So you could just divide by 2, right? And then you'd be ready to do this next chart in option number 7. So you could just maybe looking up all the actual percentages for the assets first before going into this big chart might be easier.
I mean, we can do that. Yeah, sure. What do you think?
Yeah, if we want to. But anyways, I'm fine just stopping right now, and we can pick this up when we get to it.
Okay.
But again, the only reason
we can do at least one chart. I mean, how many charts is going to be? It's going to be only one.
There's only
charts.
1,
7,
2,
7,
3, 4,
7.
5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 7 charts. So so if we want to do there's just 7.
Yeah, because US dollar Tesla. Yeah.
So if we want to do the charts real quick, actually, let me do that. Let me just pull up these assets really quick. Do the charts real quick. But basically, so this would be 0 to 100% for diverge. Remember, this is only for diverge, right? We're not worried about root. But basically, the only reason for this more complicated model is that if we're only doing it once every 6 months, year, it's you don't need this. But if you're going to check in on it weekly or every couple weeks, this will make it much easier to buy and sell and get it transferred between the different assets because you'll know exactly where all the assets are in the meantime. Anyways, let's take a quick look at these charts. So you can look at the charts anyways. Obviously, TradingView is nice, but if you don't have TradingView, you can look up somewhere else.
Okay.
So let me see what I can find. So Apple, Apple is just pretty about up.
You're looking on your phone, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at my phone real quick.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of 2023, there was kind of some drops, but But overall, it's, well, wow, these graphs are just awful. I can't really see on my phone. It's too convincing. Yeah, I can't even see the top of the chart. Okay. So let's try market beat. So if I click on market beat and I go to Tesla, it's Tesla, right? It is number one.
Market beat.
We'll click on the chart. You don't need any particular complicated chart. We just need the line graph. Okay. Huh. Don't see the chart. Let me try again. Oh, is that the chart? Yeah, there it is, chart. The chart is coming. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. No. They're not going to let me see the chart. And they want us to sign in with Google or something.
Yeah, it happened to me before as well. So yeah, must be honest with you. I don't fully get it still. I don't know. It might be late. It's been a long day, but I don't get it too much. So our goal, you're saying, it's that we want to know where the assets went.
Correct.
All right. So we are tracking because we start with root and diverge. Perfect. Okay, we have this. That's the starting point, right? Then, I mean, here we just made examples. We never took any decision to buy and sell, obviously, right? So we made some examples. If we would be to sell all of Tesla's and all of Microsoft, right? So basically, we know that at some point, 50% of the Tesla that we sold, no, not 50%. Yeah, 50% of all the original Teslas are into the US dollars now.
Let's look at the chart first. And then once we get a decision here, then we can actually work with something. Okay, so here is the chart for Tesla, right? It's actually not making me move anything. Wait, 5. Oh, I see. So this is years. So you want to go to 1 year chart. Okay, so this is the 1 year chart for Tesla. And we can look at the 5 year as well, right? Okay. So if you ask me, this would be, it went up and then it started going down. It's still actually on a downward trajectory. So it went up a bunch, but it's still overall on a downward trajectory, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the 1 year, it's just kind of been kind of curving down. So I mean, is this the bottom? Because we want to go in the big view, right? Like the 1 5 year view, right? Because we're trying to do very slow asset, generalization. So for me, you can see it kind of went up, but it's going down, it might start going up again. But I would say overall kind of average, right? So at best we're at 50-50, at best of 50%. I would even say under 50%. We don't have to sell all of it for diverge, but I would say for Tesla, it's probably a 40% or something like that. Does that make sense? Hello?
I don't know. It's muting. I don't know. All right. Yeah, it makes sense. I followed you. Yeah, I followed everything. Yeah.
So we're in agreement that Tesla is 40%. Yes?
I mean,
at best it's a 50%. So I would say it's under 50%. So we could do 25%. We could do 35%. We could do we could do 0%. I don't care. We just need to do something. And I gotta go. So
yeah, I would take these decisions on another day. My head is spinning. I need to understand better everything here. And
this is exactly what we did before. There's no difference. You just look at the chart.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember. Yes.
So we think 40% is bad, or I don't understand. Like, we're not making a final decision here. We're just trying to make an example.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
So
40% is good. Yeah, yeah.
Do you want it 25%?
30? Yeah, 25, 30.
All right, let's do 30%. Yeah, because Tesla is like very volatile and not like the best. Okay, so then if that's 30%, then you come up here, and then you would say under Tesla, you would say 15% because it's already halved, right? So whatever percentage we do, 1/2, right? So you're going to take this 30% and you're going to multiply it by, you're going to divide it by 2, so you're going to get 15%. Does that make sense? Because the other half is already in root. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, because it's 15%, you're going to end up with a total percentage value of 50 plus 15 is going to be 65%. Right. So then I changed the percentage of value from 50% to 65% because we sold, in this case, 35%. Right? 35 plus 15 is 15. Yeah. Okay, and then up here, instead of 50%, we're going to say 35%. Okay.
Yeah.
And then instead of 175, we're going to cut another
160.
And that's 160. Yes, 160. And everything should equal out. So see at the bottom, everything equals out.
Yeah.
So again, it's just documenting the value of the Tesla, in this case, US dollars. But what's really cool about this is that you could just take this Tesla and say, okay, you know what? We don't want to buy US dollar. Apple's doing really well. Let's take the Tesla value and put it in the Apple stock, which in case the Apple stock is going to be a higher value. So in this case, it would double to 70% Apple stock. Because the Apple stock is we have less percentage of the Apple stock than the Tesla stock. It's twice as much. Okay, does that make sense? So this is what's powerful about this, is it allows you to move the assets however you want to. It's not just buying and selling them. You can move them wherever you want to. But in this case, we're putting it in US dollars at 35%. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to change this back to the 50% on the Microsoft, so we'll get to it. All right. So anyways, I think we're done for now.
Yeah, great, Jay. So we should definitely, schedule again and finalize everything, right?
But does that kind of make sense now, or a little bit better, or not? We're talking about actual numbers.
Yes,
because like for example, once you have 11,000 Tesla stock, 76% of that 11,000 is going to be root, and the other 50% is going to be different.
That's clear, yes.
Cool. All right, sounds good. I will talk to you soon. This is good work. We made a lot of progress.
Yeah, thank you.